This is the story of a peaceful nation's descent into armed conflict.
They're going into every window of this police station now.
It's the story of how people turn from being law-abiding citizens into hooded gunmen. The story of how some men seize power overnight and others lose it in the most brutal of ways.
West African leaders attending an emergency summit in Paris have promised to wage total war on the Islamist militant group which kidnapped more than 200 girls in Nigeria last month. The French President François Hollande announced what he called a global plan of action to tackle Boko Haram. The group have also been accused of abducting 10 Chinese workers in Cameroon last Friday.
Last Wednesday. 2 days earlier, Gambora was hit by an army of Boko Haram men. They arrived at 1:30 in the afternoon. We counted hundreds of burned out cars. Boko Haram didn't want anyone following them afterwards.
It looks like a kind of desiccated hell. Was that what it was like to see there?
It was. Listen, I've been doing my present job for a very, very long time, since the battle of
early Middle Ages.
Yeah, no, but you just get a sense of the violent savagery that Boko Haram
And if you stumbled upon a massacre of this scale, totally unreported in the rest of the world, it must be going on again and again and again. And is this simply because this is too dangerous and difficult an area of the world's media to get to, or what?
Yes, the Nigerian media, indeed, let alone the outside world. And the government isn't really very interested. I mean, Goodluck Jonathan should have gone, of course, to the village of Chibok, where the 277 girls were kidnapped from, shied away from it at the last moment. I mean, what foolish.
One imagines the place is just crawling with soldiers and knife fighters and so forth.
Yeah, wouldn't it? I've seen lots and lots of towns attacked, I'm afraid. I've never seen one so comprehensively destroyed as this town, Gambora.
Finally, Amanda.
Right, I have, in the Daily Telegraph today, we're going over to Nigeria again, and Nigeria hints at prisoner swap deal for the girls. I'm sure we've probably all seen the photograph that they issued. So Boko Haram terrorists, they basically want to swap the schoolgirls for their jailed brethren.
Video, yeah. Tomorrow they were taken.
A month tomorrow. Now, they're saying we will never release them until you release our brethren. And what's interesting with the Nigerian government, at the beginning, they completely refused. They said, of course, they would never negotiate. But subsequently, they've now turned around and said they're considering all options towards freeing the girls and reuniting them with their parents. And I think according to the Daily Telegraph, some of the Western officials that are helping with the hunt have said that very little progress has been made because the area that they're trying to cover is so vast. It's like 3 times the size of Wales. That even if they could pinpoint where they were, even if they said, right, they're in that clearing, trying to get special forces to that clearing before they kill the hostages.
Some of the villages and towns along the way and raze them to the ground. I mean, actually raze them to the ground.
So it is that sort of stalemate situation. And interesting, one of the fathers of one of the girls has said that he would rather that she died then they exchange them for prisoners. Yeah, I don't want a prisoner exchange either. Our daughters are not prisoners, and they should not be exchanged for anyone. Let the government try to rescue them. If they have a prisoner exchange, that will look like the government is giving in to Boko Haram, and it will just encourage them to take more hostages. They will never stop. He's also saying that he would hate the fact that the daughter has converted to Islam. She's a Christian, and I think the
I mean, the Boko Haram flourishes because of enormous poverty and disparity in
I think the worst thing for me with that as a mum is looking at that picture. There's about 130 girls out of the 200, so you would be scanning that to try and see if you could see your daughter in it, and some of the faces are obscured, or you can only, it's just horrific. It's just
The BBC won't broadcast the appeal. I'm going to do it myself. Anyone who wants to contribute, I'm going to do that. And I'm sorry, you're not going to stop me. You're not going to stop me. I'm sorry. The Disaster Emergency Committee Gaza Crisis is available at P.O. Box 999, London, EC3A 3AA. And I know from the BBC, because I've been here most of the morning, nobody here agrees with what the BBC have done. 1,330 people have been killed, 460 children, 5,480 casualties, and the reason the BBC have done it is very simple. The Israeli government objected.
Well, the BBC would disagree with you, and you did hear the line from management there that it's a question of raising impartiality. The public will be concerned, and the other issue, of course, will the aid actually get to the people?
Well, if you're telling me that if I send money to Gaza, the BBC's impartiality, I'm sorry, I'm a human being.
If you send money to Gaza, though, through an appeal, can you be sure that it will get to the people who
in a war situation,
need it?
The Israelis have killed 1,330 people. Now, Livni, the Israeli foreign minister, said there is no humanitarian crisis. Now, be clear, the Israelis objected to the BBC. That's the reason. I've never met anyone, and I've done masses of meetings. I've never met anyone who doesn't think we should give aid to Gaza.
What about the other broadcasters who are also not showing it, though?
Well, they're wrong as well. But you see, we are human beings. I know you work for the BBC and I'm a pensioner. We're people. If you saw children dying as they are today in Gaza because there's no food, then wouldn't you want to send it?
We have shown what's been happening in Gaza.
I know you've shown it, but I'm talking about trying to help people.
Yes, but surely people will see it and send the money anyway. What difference?
They don't know the address, and that's it. P.O. Box 999, London, EC3A 3AA. I'm doing what the BBC won't do.
And you did it earlier as well, and I think people now know what the address is. Can we look at the bigger picture, though, as well?
Yes, of course.
What about targeting the aid going to the people who need it? What about the possibility that it might go to Hamas, that it might actually go to rearm?
Well, Hamas is the elected government. In 2006, Hamas won the general election in Palestine. Jimmy Carter, the former American president, said that. And if you're telling me that no aid can go to people dying there in case it goes to a school run by Hamas, I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
How much
decision? Let me be clear about that. And I started my life 6 years ago as a BBC producer. I love the BBC. I support it. But it has capitulated to Israeli pressure. That's the truth, I have to tell you.